Back in May in 1941, Liverpool was a very different place to what it is now. This is the story of the Liverpool May Blitz, the 1st of May to the 8th of May 1941. 8 days of hell. In May 1941, the German war machine had overrun Western Europe and France had fallen. While Britain stood alone and faced a bombing campaign, the Blitz, here in Liverpool we were the most bombed city outside of London by the Luftwaffe. And with the possibility of invasion by Hitler's war machine, Winston Churchill refused any peace deal with Hitler as insane and suicidal. The first bombs to fall in the May Blitz landed in Speke and Wallasy. The first on the Liverpool side was Speke Road Bridge in Garston. It was Thursday the 1st of May 1941. Wavertree, Dingle, Everton, the city centre all hit on the first day. Limestone Station, Crawford's Biscuit Factory and several places in the Wirral. The 1st of May 1941. In total, 60 plus German bombers bombed Merseyside that day. 31 perished on the first day of the Liverpool Blitz. The 2nd of May 1941. With the previous day's bombing still vivid in everyone's mind right across Merseyside, there were more bombers on the way. 65 Henkel 111s, the aircraft used to bomb Merseyside. The docks were the main target for the bombers. Industrial, shipping, fuel, ammunition and rail transport. As the aircraft appeared over Liverpool on the second day, people took shelter in the Nissan huts, bunkers and basements, and not forgetting the Anderson shelter. The bombs were high explosive incendiary devices and the dreaded parachute mines. The 2nd of May 1941, James Street Station, the Birkenhead buildings, the overhead railway, India buildings and the city centre. With more hits in Birkenhead. The 2nd of May 1941. 65 bombers, 156 dead. Now a story that stands out for me, mostly everybody, and I've always thought about it, I've always wondered what it would have been like for them, and that happened on the 29th of November 1940. Now where I am now, I'm on the old college site off Daring Road. Now this here, I'll show you this in a minute, this here is where the old college used to be, and on the 28th, so 29th of November 1940, a parachute bomb came down from a Luftwaffe Henkel 111, and it came down with a big parachute coming from it, and it was a direct hit on the building here at the college. Unfortunately, in the basement there was 169 people, women and children. Once the bomb hit the building, it completely destroyed the building, which then collapsed in on itself into the basement, which also caused the steam pipes and the gas pipes to enter the basement and other places in the building and voids catch fire, and it made the rescue attempt really difficult. And 166 men, women and children were sadly killed. I fully understand why Churchill decided that it was such a big thing that he didn't want anybody else knowing about it, so he kept it a secret for morale of the civilian population of Liverpool, and the morale of the whole country, and the morale of the service personnel fighting, because, you know, there's a lot of scousers, there was a lot of Liverpool regiments. If they'd have found out while sitting in a trench somewhere that their local area had just been bombed, that would then play on their mind, so he didn't want anybody to know. So it was kept secret until after the war. I'll show you this. Now on here, it's got, "In memory of those who lost their lives on this site, 29th November 1940 will not be forgotten." Right, I'll come back to the middle bit. On here, it's got, "And God himself will be them. He will wipe every tear from their eyes." Right, so let me read this out for you, because it's not very clear. "I remember so well the courage and fortitude of those who suffered from enemy action during World War II, and in particular the families and the men, women and children who were tragically killed when a landmine fell on Ernest Brown Jr. Instruction Centre in Liverpool on the 20th of November 1940. My thoughts and prayers are with you all at the memorial service you were holding at St Cyprian's Church, and I will send my best wishes for peace and happiness in the years ahead. Elizabeth R. Queen Mother." It's nice, isn't it? Memorial. On that night as well, in 1940, when this place got bombed, it was the heaviest bombing of any Blitz in Liverpool since the bombing started. It was the heaviest bombing they had here. What a sad story though. I knew about this a long time ago. And you think about things a lot. That's one of the things I've always thought about. It must have been absolutely horrible, especially if you were a young child. And I can fully understand why Churchill decided to keep this secret until after the war, for morale reasons. I can understand it. It would have been absolutely horrific for the people of Liverpool to know at the time that this had happened. A lot of people would have done, but getting a message around Liverpool at the time would have been near impossible. Because of the way the roads were and the infrastructure, you would have been unable to get around. So nobody would have known that this had happened. What a sad story. And yes, this is sadly the site where the parachute mine landed, here just off Daring Road in Liverpool. Churchill said it was the single worst incident of the war. The worst day in the history of Liverpool, May the 3rd, 1941. There was an uptake of bombers over Liverpool. Clear weather and a huge moon made it a lot easier for the Luftwaffe to see their intended targets. And with so many incendiary bombs falling, Liverpool became a firestorm, putting the fire service under extreme pressure. If you know where the Nationwide Bank is in Liverpool, both sides were completely gone, as seen in this photo. Lord Street, Chapel Street, and where Liverpool 1 is, was all destroyed. I was born in 1973 at Mill Road Hospital in Everton. On the 3rd of May 1941, the hospital was hit. 83 people were killed that night at the hospital. 17 staff were injured and 7 babies were killed. Lewis's and Blacklist department stores were burnt to a shell. The shelter at the Rocket on Queen's Drive, 30 were killed. 43 in Index Street in Goodison Park, 12 at Cretic Street, Breck Road, 12 at Walton Jail and 37 in St Andrew's Hall, Rutherland. In total, on the 3rd of May 1941, 298 bombs bombed Liverpool, killing 1,272 people across Liverpool in Liverpool's darkest day. The people of Merseyside were now wondering where their air defence was, with the realisation that Merseyside needed more air defence. There were a few AA batteries in the Merseyside area, of which I have been to a few, including Witness AA 216 33rd Group Western, like Bidston Hill AA battery, as well as many bunkers, Tranmere Bunker, Bidston Hill Deep Level Air Raid Shelter, and the Air Raid Shelter at the Botanic Gardens in Wavertree. Merseyside needed more air defence, so decoy sites were set up around the Merseyside area. You'll see some decoy sites, or one decoy site, in the next video, as well as a decoy site on the DS3 in the Whittle. Also on the 3rd of May 1941, a £500 high explosive bomb fell in the library next door to the museum in Liverpool, which caused the museum to catch fire and was completely burnt out. On the night of the 3rd of May 1941, a high explosive bomb landed on the roof of the adjoining Central Library and a fire began to take hold of the building. It spread to the World Museum, gutting from top to bottom. As an important port city, Liverpool was the prime target for the German bombing range known as the Blitz. This place behind me also got bombed in the Liverpool Blitz. You can see it in the walls. Here are these. They're all shrapnel marks on the Second World War. All over the building. Yeah, they're very bad. That is all bomb damage. 80 Racecourse, Anfield Stadium, among other hits, mainly in Liverpool city centre. One bomb landed in a warehouse in the Hutchinson Dock, right next to the SS Malakand, a cargo liner built in 1919 for the Brocklebank line. She was loaded with munitions and resupply goods for the war effort. As the bomb hit the warehouse, it started a fire, which spread to the Malakand. After a few hours, the Malakand exploded, with bits of the ship being found in Stanley Park, and totally destroyed the entire Hutchinson Dock No. 2 system. The ship at the time had 1,000 tons of munitions on board. It took 4 days for the fire to go out. The explosion killed 4 inside the dock and many more outside the docks. In total, on the 3rd of May 1941, 298 bombs bombed Liverpool, killing 1,272 people across Liverpool in Liverpool's darkest day. The Germans again bombed Liverpool at multiple sites, including Anfield Stadium and the Rotunda Theatre on Scotland Road, Liverpool Docks, and heavily damaged in Bootle, where after the Blitz, nearly 1/3 of housing were destroyed and 6,500 homes were bombed in Bootle in 7 days, leaving 70,000 people homeless. In one incident, a direct hit on a public shelter in Bootle on the corner of Ash Street and Stanley Road. The bodies were removed and taken to a temporary mortuary, which in itself was bombed by incendiary devices, consuming over 180 bodies within. The 4th of May 1941, 53 bombers and 94 fatalities. The 5th of May 1941, 27 German Lufftwaffe planes bombed Liverpool on May the 5th. Most of the damage was done to civilian areas. The bombs also hit 2 of our finest churches, St Nicholas Church or the Sailors Church. See the bomb marks there as well, everybody, on the church. See? Shrapnel. It's all over this. All over there, see? The church that we all love and treasure, St Luke's Church, was a bombed out church in Liverpool. The royal family was also hit on this night. On the 5th of May 1941, 27 bombers bombed Liverpool and there was 18 fatalities. May the 6th, 1941, and with the people of Liverpool waking up to utter devastation, it wasn't going to be too long before the German planes returned. The NFS, the National Fire Service, which was formed in 1941 after the amalgamation of the Auxiliary Fire Service and local authority fire brigades. With the city in ruins, the NFA fire bobbies were flat out, working 12 to 15 hour shifts in extreme conditions. The fire bobbies working them 12 to 15 hour shifts didn't have the best body protection in the way of their uniform. It was uncomfortable wearing the new gear that to me a good few years back. No BA sets back in 1941. Custom House was totally burnt out on the 6th of May. Known as the Fort Grace, sadly it was demolished. The town hall was also hit, and many more hits across Liverpool, but only 27 bombers, but sadly there were 64 fatalities. May the 7th, 1941. The German bombers had their sights on Hull on the 7th of May. Fog and low cloud had Liverpool during the day, but as night fell, the fog cleared and Bootle was in for a bad night. It had already suffered heavy bombings over the last few weeks. Bootle's rows of terrace streets were hit hard, with only 15% left by the end of the Blitz. This tunnel, the March Lane Time Tunnel, was also hit by a bomb on the 7th of May. Also on the 7th of May, there was many killed in Birkenhead and Wallasy. The 7th of May 1941, 166 bombers, 392 fatalities. That was the last time the German Lufftwaffe bombed Liverpool in the May Blitz. Hitler now turned his attention to Stalin and Russia and the Eastern Front and left Liverpool and the people of Liverpool and Merseyside to pick up the pieces. In a stroke of irony, the last bomb to fall on Liverpool was the 10th of January 1942, destroying houses on Upper Stanhope Street. 102 Upper Stanhope Street was the home of Adolf Hitler's half-brother and where his nephew William Patrick Hitler was born. Why did I decide to call this video 8 Days of Hell? Let me explain. Hello everybody, I was going to do this in that bunker for you, but I got up at 7 o'clock this morning and it hasn't stopped raining since, and it's quite heavy. So getting in and out of that bunker, this camera, my bag, my clothes, down that hole, through all that mud, I don't fancy it much. And getting back out as well, so I thought I would do it here. Now why did I call the video 8 Days of Hell? Well, the last 7 days, the 1st of May to the 7th of May, were horrific. So many people lost their lives. It must have been absolutely unbearable to think about. Think about this. Even in your own city, if you're not from Liverpool, it got bombed. Can you imagine walking around the way town is today? And all the things that you love and treasure, and the Liverpool one, and all the shops. Everything you would do on a Saturday with your mates when you went into town to do some shopping. Well, imagine that getting totally destroyed in 7 days. And then you come out of your bunker, or smashed a building, or a bombed house or something like that, and you walk out to that. Not only are the buildings destroyed, which would be upsetting enough, you've got people who have died, family members who have died. There's fires everywhere. You can't get about. The emergency services can't get to you very well. You've got gas mains on fire in the street. There's you can't jump on the bus and go from A to B. And it must have been absolutely horrible on the 8th day coming out with no electricity, no water, no food. The possibility of Liverpool being bombed again. Of course, the people of Liverpool on the 8th didn't know that the German Luftwaffe weren't coming back to bomb Liverpool in the May Blitz again. They turned their attention to the Eastern Front and Stalin and the fight against Russia. but walking around on the 8th, trying to find family members, friends, loved ones, Mr. and Mrs. Jones from number 62, you know, it must have been horrible just to get from A to B, looking in morgues, asking people if they've seen your family and friends, not getting any responses. It must have been petrifying on the 8th for people to get themselves, you know, where they needed to be to find out about loved ones. And of course, to doing all that while walking around very dangerous streets, knowing that when they go home, there's no home to go back to. It was being completely destroyed. But right across the country at the time, during all the blitzes, we had the British Bulldog fighting spirit in the war spirit, and that's what kept us going. I think that's what probably helped us win the war against Hitler. A bit like St. Luke's Church, left, bombed out, as a massive two fingers and a massive defiance to Hitler and his war machine. This is one city, I can't be beaten. What you've got to think about as well is that right across the country at the time, all cities, they all have their own little quirks and sense of humours and things like that. But in Liverpool we have our own as well, and we've got a very wicked sense of humour. I think pretty much the whole world knows that. But I think on the 8th, maybe the 9th, maybe the 10th, there would have been some community banter, because the community would have started picking itself up. A bit like that lady there with her family. Maybe that's her mum, maybe it's her auntie, maybe it's a grandma, I don't know. But as you see, she's smiling and laughing. I can just picture her coming out of that bombed house with her family. Everyone's there, she looks happy enough, only for the neighbours to shout over from over the road, "Are you all okay?" And for the lady to say, "Yeah, we're fine, just give us half an hour and I'll stick the kettle on for you." I think there would have been a lot of camaraderie going around, and a lot of funny, mild little comments like that to pick up the community spirit. I'm sure it would have happened here, as it would have happened elsewhere in the country also. So looking at that picture, I just hope that's what she's saying, and I hope, of course, they were all okay in that picture as well. Now there's a lot more I could have put into this. There's so much. It took me a while to put this together, it really has. I've had to do a lot of walking, research, I've done a lot, but it's been well worth it, and it's certainly opened my eyes, it really has. Some of the stories I was reading in the library the other day, heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking, just so bad. But anyway, I'm going to leave the video here now. Your next video will be out probably tomorrow. It'll be out straight away if I can get it finished. I am going to Wales for you Friday with Matt until Sunday. So if you put any comments up on this video, which I would like you to, I might not answer them back until Monday night. So I'm not ignoring you, I'm not at home, so I can answer them back for you. But hit the like button for me as well, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all again soon. Easy.